Hello, hello, what is up? Alright. Monday, week 4. So that means it is the heaviest bench session of the block. So that means exactly that. We need to bench heavy today. Gotta hit something big today. Let's see. Let's go ahead and get everything nice and updated on the workout log. Yo, what's up, Zero? Let's see. Feeling pretty good today, too, actually. Which I think we hit 325, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see if I updated it at the very end. So I need to do probably a 310 for last warm-up. One set of 2, 310, one set of 2, 332, hopefully. And then oh, it's 3 sets of 3, not 3 sets of 5. 3 sets of 3 at question mark. To be determined, I suppose. It should be some Claire Obscure, some Expedition 33. Same as it always is. Modified chin up, machine chest press. Barbell, try, extension. Yeah, hopefully it is, hopefully it's good. Hopefully it's decent enough. Alright, that is pretty much what we got. So, let me move that over a bit. Actually, how about I just do this? That'll help out a bit. Alright. So, cranking out the workout and then playing some of the 7 Deadly Sins Origin launch after I get done with the workout. Oh. Let's see how this feels. We got the big week starting with today. The 7 Deadly Sins Origin drop. Finally, a nice game release that's not super late in the evening. Much appreciated. Unfortunately, I actually think that Crimson Desert is late in the evening too on Thursday. Used to know. Alright. And I'm doing good, honestly. You know, I kind of woke up early and then I think I was able to doze off for a little bit. Because I'm like, man, I would really want to, like, I want to try to sleep good because I know today's, like, heavy bench session. But, yeah, I mean, actually feel pretty good today, nice and awake. And then obviously, you know, like I said, really big week. Lots of stuff coming out. And then obviously it's just our heavy week, so very fun. Hopefully we can crank out a good set. And then, yeah, like I said, 7 Deadly Sins today. I don't know if Star Savior is going to be Wednesday evening or if it actually is truly Thursday. But I guess if it's Thursday, Star Savior and Crimson Desert on Thursday. And we're going to be kept busy. Working on video montage, nice. Putting in that work. Dude, it is a lot, but never a bad thing. That's why I've been chilling out, like all of last week after Resident Evil. Just chilling out. The calm before the storm. Being a chill guy. Yo, what's up, Arnicar? Hello, hello. All fur coat and no. Yep. Dirt. We got this heavy session today, man. I hate the sound the weight discs make when sliding on the bar. Are you just talking about like, well, are you talking about on stream? Like, can you hear it? Or are you just talking about like in general, you know? Oh, so you can't hear it a bit? Oh man, I love hearing them plates touch together. It must be a power lifter thing. Oh, my necklace. Oh, it's fine, I lied. Oh, the slide. Oh, yeah. I gotcha. All right. What are we thinking? Do we just go straight up to 287? Yeah, I think we will. Straight to 287. Man, Peck has been just ever so slightly irritable, I've noticed. Trying to get it through, you know, as long as we can make it through week 4, we have that full week of, you know, rest, and generally that type of stuff subsides. Just gotta make it there. I'm Humpty Dumpty over here, hanging by a thread. $287. Alright, let's see. Do I go straight up to 310? Protein pudding, salted caramel sounds pretty dang good. I don't know that I've had protein pudding before though. But I think that that would have to be the way to go for sure. Must have one? Do you make it yourself or it's a pudding that's full of protein? Pikachu surprise face. Ain't no way. Don't be rude. Oh, you're being... Oh, see, I thought you were yanking my chain, you know? So I was just yanking back. Nah, but do you make it yourself? Or do you have... I don't know, do you, like, buy it? You have them in shops? Interesting. I don't know that I've really seen that. Personally. Also, what's up, Naroji? Protein pudding. I don't know if I've seen that around. Chocolate one is the best. Well, I guess when you're talking about the pudding route, you know. Chocolate pudding is just kind of the goat. Yeah, yogurt for sure. That's pretty common, right? I don't know that I've seen any protein puddings. Anakar got all the cool stuff, I guess. Alright, so this is the first ascending set. It's a European thing? Maybe. Alright, guys. And Humpty Dumpty last, there's 2 more sets before I go back down. And wait. Yo, last night I was 203, by the way. That was an all-time high. Although I had like a hat on and stuff, I was just kind of loosely weighing myself to make sure I was still, you know, at least heavier. Alright. And it's only 2 reps, you know? Just some stupid little weights on a bar. That's pretty good. Man, 20 more pounds though. Alright, gotta break out the yellow plates. Let's go, baby. Oh. Man, I almost wonder if I should go 337. I probably would if I had somebody here to spot, just in case. Or somebody that could lift it off if anything happened. But I think I'll have to settle with 332. 332 for today. What did I hit last block, man? I almost feel like I hit 332 for 3 last block. Maybe I should go 337. Stop being a wimp. Now I am curious. Alright guys, let's double check that. It's only 5 more pounds, you know. No, it's just only 5 more pounds. So let's see. New block. Deload week. 337 or higher. Week 4 bench continues. Time to bench heavy. Here we go. It had to have been this one. What did I end up hitting? Wait, oh yeah. So, it could have been 332. For some reason I feel like it was 332. Oh, it definitely was. Alright guys, you know what that means. We need to lock the F in. We gotta kick it in overdrive. If I hit this for 3 last block, we gotta hit at least 337 for 2. Because we smoked the 332 for 3 as well. Who cares about a peck? Alright, top set, 337. A last second change on the weight. Jesus is spotting us today. Chalk up just a smidge. Big set here. Come on.
be good.
Definitely a Jesus take the wheel moment. You know what's funny is I uploaded a bench press clip onto TikTok this week, and people were not happy about it, man. People just don't understand, like, as a power lifter, you just, I mean, you set up so that you can lift the most amount of weight, right? And people just really don't like the arch, man. I had quite the comments. Very, people were just very upset. My bench lifting up? Yeah. The problem is it's not bolted down, and it's not like super heavy. So let's see, we did 337. Well, let's see here, we did 310 and then 337. Sometimes I'll put like a dumbbell down. Oh wait, what? Oh, these were supposed to be. Oh, I had that all messed up. Ew. 0.94. It's probably even lower than that though. Well, what was it last week? 280. We went up pretty decent. Probably do 287. Yeah, sometimes I'll place like a dumbbell here, but it does only, you know, it only does so much really to keep it down. Let's see here. So this goes there. Also, it might. Did I read that incorrectly? It's 3 sets of 4. I don't know why I put 3 sets of 3. Silly me. Well, don't let me get it twisted though. 337 for 2 is still not like super amazing for me personally. I think I've hit a 350 for 2, roughly. Okay, so let's see. 3 sets of 4 at 287. That should be, well, let me update my weight. I did too. 310, 337. What's on the docket for me this week? Well, you know, we're doing the workout stream right now. the 7 Deadly Sins game, you know, the gacha game, comes out actually today. I think it probably came out right about when we started stream, if I'm remembering correctly. So that will be fun. We'll be playing that the next couple days until Star Savior and Crimson Desert comes out. I'm hoping that Star Savior drops Wednesday night. The thing with a lot of gachas is they put the time zone in like, like a different time zone, right? Like Korean time zone, I think. So technically, say if it says it's on the 24th, for us that means it's technically the 23rd in the evening, because they're like ahead. So I'm hoping that's the case and that it drops on Wednesday night and not the exact same day as Crimson Desert. Preferably, really, really preferably, that would be amazing. But yeah, we're gonna try it. It'll be a big week. We're gonna be busy. Probably lots of game streaming. We got Philopondus. You know, thanks for the follow, but I'm pretty sure you're a bot on Kick, so. Ever played a gacha game for aging so they could be addictive and maybe pricey? Yeah, pricey for sure. I personally play, you know, I play them all free to play for the most part. If I like a game and I get a lot of entertainment out of it on launch, then maybe I'll get like a battle pass or like a small pack, right? But that's kind of where it starts and stops. Because you don't want to keep putting into it and then have that sunk cost fallacy start to kick in, and then it's just like an endless cycle, right? I guess for some it probably is addictive, but for me, it's not, I guess. I'm pretty good about that stuff, really. Of course, some are a lot better than others in terms of monetization and then like what you get as a free to play, right? And you know, when it stops being fun or if I feel too pressured, then it's just like, well, I just move on to the next one, right? Because there's plenty of them to play. Are those set up to be pay to win? Well, see, I would say again, it depends, right? It's always interesting to me that people will pay like thousands on a game that like is just single player, right? You know, there's like no PvP or anything like that. So I would say like ones that have PvP, I think it's easier to call it pay to win, right? Because you're essentially paying for progression or power against somebody else. But I don't know. I think generally most gacha games, it depends too, right? Because you have like your idle gacha games where it's like you could just straight up pay for power to progress, but then you have your ones that are like you know, Wuthering Waves or like Genshin or whatever else, where as long as you make smart choices about the characters you pull, you're probably going to be able to clear all of the in-game content, right? So, yeah, I think it just kind of depends. That being said, I think it's fun still trying to play the PvP gacha games and seeing how far I can take it without spending. Or maybe spending a very little amount. At the end of the day, you know, they're there because I'm bored and I don't have other things to play. You know, like if there was good MMOs dropping every month, you know, that'd be amazing. You know, MMORPGs is like definitely my go-to genre, but I mean it's just looking kind of grim, right? But, you know, sometimes they are nice, right? Because for some people, they might not have the time anymore. Like MMORPGs, they require a lot of time to grind for whatever it is. Whereas, like, I don't know, maybe some gacha games are just better for people because they don't have to spend as much time. Or they can just pay to progress as opposed to grind, you know? Busy gamers, generally, yeah, they require way less time investment, so I think that once upon a time, once I get old, or like I have a busy schedule, you know, maybe I have family, that's when you start to realize, like, oh, hey, these gacha games can still maybe scratch the itch of a game, but require less time investment. You know, there's pros and cons to everything. It's just about identifying that. And of course, just recognize, you know, being self-aware, you know. If I had like sort of addictive behaviors or gambling related behaviors, then I would probably steer pretty clear away from those games, but yeah, that is not the case. And I just recognize it's like the more you put into a game, the harder it's gonna be to detach and actually walk away from the game, right? Unless you have a lot of expendable income, right? That sunk cost fallacy is real. Alright, one more set. What do you think your addictions are? Working out? And maybe not so much. Not so much anymore, but once upon a time for sure. Gaming as well, you know. I think a lot of people use addiction in like a negative connotation, but I don't know. I spend a lot of time on my computer because I have the free time. I feel like for me, like for example, I have the time, therefore I put it into those things versus like if I didn't have the time, I just wouldn't, you know, play as much, right? Plus, you could be addicted to a video game one week and drop it the next, right? Yeah. I used to do powerlifting competitions. It's been a while since I have, though. You know, it was about finishing out, you know, schooling and then starting my business and then really just getting to the point where I feel comfortable enough to, like, paying to compete. It's kind of sad, honestly, but when you look at it, you have to pay like an organization yearly fee, I guess, and then you have to sign up for the meet, whatever the fee for the meet is, and then like depending if you are traveling or not too, you know, that it could definitely be a couple $100 down the drain. For me, I don't necessarily have to be on the platform, right? Like, I enjoy training this way. Regardless. Yeah, for me it does not matter. Through thick and thin, I have kept up with the powerlifting training. You know, through persistent back pain, persistent shoulder pain. You know, that thus went away. I always just kept hammering it. Probably sometimes in scenarios that maybe I should have just stepped away for a week or two or a month. All right, there we go, baby. I'm quite stubborn, which I think is, you know, part of the problem. All right, so chin up. I need to take off all this weight. Unlucky. Thick and thin, but I've competed at some pretty cool things, you know. I've really crossed off a lot of bucket list stuff. You know, I've competed at regionals, if I'm not mistaken. But definitely competed at nationals. And then I've competed at the Arnold as well. So, like some major bucket list stuff. Of course, that was quite a few years ago now at this point. But yeah, I mean, that was the big goals, right? Be able to compete at nationals, be able to compete at the Arnold. It's just one of those things you cross off, and pretty dang awesome. And back in those days, you know, hitting a 600 plus deadlift in the 163 weight class was like pretty dang good, pretty elite, like probably within like top 10 of the weight class. And now it's like the powerlifting landscape has changed so much. There are some freaks out there now, irrespective of body weight, you know. At least in the junior category, it was. I know I was really chasing for a top 10 deadlift. Were you ever tempted to cross over in the bodybuilding competition? You usually see a few fitness streamers do it, usually briefly. No, honestly. And that kind of ties into your second question. About powerlifters cutting. I think if you're probably at a pretty elite level of trying to compete in powerlifting, you're most likely cutting. I generally would sit like probably right around 7-ish pounds over my competition weight, and then follow kind of like a specific protocol to try to bring myself down to 163. And that was generally so bad enough that I would have never wanted to do bodybuilding because it would have been even more restrictive. And so that's why I just never have even, it's never crossed my mind to do a bodybuilding competition. Because I can't do like some bland ass like plain chicken and like stuff like that. It's just nah, it's just not me, I think. But yeah, I would say it's definitely common in powerlifting. It's probably not, like I said, it's not going to be as restrictive by any means as like bodybuilding. Yeah, I was starting to get real tough to cut down to 163, so that's when I decided. The Arnold was actually the competition where I was like, it was very hard for me to get down to 163, and I said, F this. I really, after the Arnold, I want to try to fill out the next weight class up. And so then I bulked up. And now we're up a whole nother weight class from that. And I haven't even competed since the Arnold. We went ahead and went up 2 weight classes. Yeah, it seems to take some serious dedication and level of cutting for bodybuilding. Yeah, I think some people are just built different in terms of what they can stomach from a food standpoint, but I don't know. I'm sure it's cool. Maybe it is. Maybe that is something that's pretty addicting once you do it, right? Yeah, generally I think on like Twitch, right? Like a lot of the streamers are probably more so the bodybuilding realm, just because it's more like aesthetically pleasing to watch too, you know? I think a lot of people out there just want to watch somebody that's like also just super jacked. On my end, we're here to bang it out and lift some heavy weights. And get somewhat jacked in the meantime. I think for me, I'm a lot more concerned about what my body can do versus what it looks like or what it can look like. That being said, the byproduct is that generally with resistance training, even heavy resistance training, you know, you're gonna build muscle over time as well. Just maybe not to the extent as if you are purely a bodybuilding training. Now, that being said, this summer I am looking forward to focusing maybe a little less on powerlifting and the numbers on the bar and a little bit more about building muscle. Get some good hypertrophy work in. Since I am hanging out at a new body weight, right? It's the heaviest I've ever been. Last night I actually weighed in at 203. That'd be like I had a hat on and stuff like that. I was just kind of loosely weighing, but we gotta turn some of that body fat into some muscle, right? Not looking too shabby, but I want to see if I can be, you know, pretty decently lean at 200. That would be pretty nice. $200 at 5'8", 5'9" on a good day. And I want to be able to move like a freaking beast too. You know, I'll probably start upping some cardio related goals. Just kind of moving a little bit more like an athlete as well. Wait, really, Arnicar? That's some serious weight loss, man. That is awesome. That is badass. You've literally over halved your body weight. I'm here to keep Monica Center seat. Let's go. Getting it in, baby. I think that's the cool thing, right? Like, Twitch is predominantly a gaming stream platform, but I think it's a nice avenue for people that have just been gaming for years and, you know, kind of letting themselves go. Let's take a look at this little fitness and health category on Twitch and see if I can find any information, any inspiration about working out. It's like planting the seeds, right? You know, everybody has like different, you know, there's the stages of contemplation, right? You got your pre-contemplation, contemplation, action. And it's like, it's planting the seeds for hopefully some people. That's what it was all about anyways, right? But educate, give good information about health and fitness, and then, you know, inspire and motivate others along the way. There, take that. Ooh. Not calling out. I mean, honestly, it's not a bad thing anyways, right? Not a bad thing by any means. Unless you stay that way, right? Recognizing that you've like let yourself go is like, I think a step in the right direction. And I'm not saying that for anybody specific, just in general, right? You know, life happens. Sometimes it can influence our behaviors, but then somewhere down the line you just realize you don't want that anymore, right? Time to add in some discipline. Oh. It's all about balance and moderation. That's why, like, I mean, I do the fitness streams, but definitely you'll catch me sitting on my ass gaming for like 5 to 6 hours on the weekend, no problem. Of course, that's also because I'm, you know, 30 years old and single, right? No relationship. I got that time, I guess. Okay, let's see. That's all done. The rest is machine work. Well, I guess that's not true. I have one machine and then the barbell tricep extension. I lied. So that's there. We'll move this over. Working out was really bad during the COVID shutdown and gained a lot of weight. Restraining my back reasoning made me realize I want to be in better health. I'm down almost 10 pounds, slowly but surely. Hell yeah! Yeah, COVID was kind of dirty for a lot of people, right? Man, COVID. I wish I would have started streaming sooner. Like, more during COVID. The problem is that was like Cairo. That was my chiropractic program. Timeline for what it's worth. Yeah, keep it up though. Keep it up. Alright, who's the one that's gonna try out the 7 TV emotes? I don't know if I fixed it or not. Let's see if this ain't working. If this doesn't work, I don't know what to do. We're about to find out. Yo, what's up, Scott? I am doing good. How are you doing? I'm gonna lower this a little bit. Oh, that emote worked. Was that a 7TV emote or a Twitch emote? Somebody's gotta trial it for us. Make sure it's showing up on screen. Doing good, thanks. Good to hear, good to hear. Somebody's gotta rip one for science. Yeah, big workout today, you know, nice and heavy session. We're on week 4, so all bench sessions will be, you know, naturally just the heaviest of the block. But then big week as well, Scott. We got the 7 Deadly Sins Origin Gacha game today. I think that dropped about an hour or so ago. Star Savior and Crimson Desert. I won't share with my initial inspiration. That's too dark, but I'll send some mojo your way. Yeah. What drives us isn't always positive, you know? I mean, for me, for quite some time, it was more so about doing the workout is my way of taking everything out, you know, stress, you know, anger, just taking out that negativity. But then, like, there was a point in my life where, like, there wasn't really a lot of negativity, right? Like, everything was good, a lot of positivity, and it was very hard for me because I was like, the stuff that got me motivated, the stuff that got me really going for my workouts wasn't there anymore, you know? Tomorrow we're doing Kilo Returns to WoW. Ooh. Somebody want to tell him? Who wants to tell him? Alright, just press machine. Oh, why is this stuff? Okay, there we go. This might not be heavy enough, we'll see. Tell you that we're not playing World of Warcraft tomorrow. This week of all weeks, right? Well, I've heard good things about this expansion, at least, I think it's overall net positive, but there's just so much other stuff right now. I've been burnt by WoW. What was it, Shadowlands? My lord. That was the last retail expansion I played, and that thing was terrible. I've heard that you can't binge. Yeah. I suppose so. I guess so. A lot of working, huh, Scott? Yep. Passing some time for some new releases. Reverse oncology? I think you mean psychology. Yeah, you guys are trolling me now. A bit better on the week. A game called Crow Country is Resident Evil gameplay with old Final Fantasy graphics? Interesting. I don't know if I've heard of that one. Is that a newer or an older one? I actually just got done playing through Resident Evil 9. I finished, I think, last Monday or Tuesday? That was pretty good. Can't remember if you popped in for any of that. That was a good one. Came out last year? Okay, cool. Cool. Orange car lurking, alright. Heard that, boss. Yeah, dude, I can't wait for Crimson Desert. Oh. Crimson Desert is gonna just hit so different. The only problem I saw though is they last minute decided to add Denuvo. I don't know how it's spelled, but apparently, although it does help like prevent cheating and like a bunch of other stuff, it severely affects performance in some cases. So a lot of people were saying the performance was really good on the game until they decided to just, toss that one in last second. So there is a concern for performance now that they did that. But honestly, from what I've seen, it looks like it's going to be so much fun, man. It just looks so good. Also, why did I rotate that back over when I needed this? I set it up and then I literally put it back away. Crazy. It does look pretty decent. I'm gonna be playing a lot of it, Scott. I am going to be slamming that. Yo, you guys want to know what's crazy to me, though? Is how, and I talked about this last stream, it was literally like in the 70 degrees last week. And before I started the stream, it was literally flurrying outside. It was snowing outside before I started the stream. I hate it here. Like, get that out of here. Hopefully pop into your stream. Yeah, hopefully, man. Hope to see you in there. I think it's not supposed to drop until like the evening on Wednesday. I think it's like 5 p.m. My time on, did I say Wednesday? It's definitely Thursday, by the way. If I didn't say Thursday the first time, it is indeed Thursday. Be warm one week and freezing cold the next. I know. Mother Nature, man. I'm tired of the cold, though. And it wasn't even that cold. Bring on the warmer weather and sunshine. That's what I want. Days ago here in Seattle was mild, then we had a whole day of snow, and the next day it all melted and we're back to mild. Yep. Gotta love it. Alright, let's see here. Gotta check my emails real quick. Sure nothing has rolled in. Because like I said, most likely we're just gonna go right into some 7 Deadly Sins after the workout stream. Alright, let's crank it out. We got 3 more sets of the wonderful barbell tricep extensions. I wonder if it's easy enough to re-roll on 7 Deadly Sins. It's Steam release and console first, so I'm hoping that there's a way that you can re-roll, which essentially just means, like, for the people that don't play gachas, it just means you're basically starting the beginning of the game to like get the initial pulls, and if you're like unsatisfied with what you get, then you like just do it again. as long as it doesn't take too long. I think apparently it takes about 15-ish minutes to like get to the part where you start doing the pulls and getting the pulls, so that's not too bad of a reroll. As long as you're able to like delete your count or something like that, then I might reroll. We'll see. Oh, Scott. Man, you know how to make a man blush. Pause. Yeah, no, I've definitely been on the bulk. Man, everybody's been saying stuff about it too. Like in person. They've just been like, man, you're looking really good. And then, you know, this one guy's like, I know this is kind of weird, like it's just not something you really say to another man, but you know, you're looking good, man. But so yeah, I just tell everybody I've been bulking. I kind of got to a spot, I think it was after I was like sick, you know, sometimes you're sick, you lose a few pounds, and I was pretty low. It was probably like right around 182 or something like that. And like I kind of just started to like, I was slowly like drifting down, and I didn't necessarily want to be like a lower body weight. And then I was like, you know what, F it. I want to be able to deadlift 700 pounds. I'm not getting any younger, right? So if I'm gonna push a real heavy body weight, then like now is the time, I guess. So yeah, I've been hanging out right around 200 now. So I am up like, give or take like 18 pounds. But yeah, everybody's been saying, yeah, that's a nice body weight for you, or something like that. I just gotta make sure I don't look like the Pillsbury Doughboy. I don't really want to sit any heavier. The most that I'm willing to like kind of hang out at is anywhere from like 200 to 205, but I want to be able to feel like, you know, I can move around good. Like I don't just want to be one of those guys that like, oh, I can only lift a lot of weight. I'm a big guy, but like if you ask me to run down the street, I'm gonna like die of a heart attack. So. And I want to be able to lean out pretty good. I am only like 5'8", you know, maybe 5'9", 5'10" on a good day. So if I can be a nice like 200, 205, like pretty lean, I think that'd be pretty good. Yeah. For sure. I mean, what a lot of people don't understand is like, in my opinion, when you are bulking is actually when you should probably start to bring in some cardio. Because, I mean, for me, I gained 18 pounds. That's almost like freaking carrying around a weight vest all day. You know, it's like a Ferrari with no engine, you know? You gotta get the, you gotta get that engine going too to support it. Yeah, 205 would be pretty solid. If I'm getting to the point where I have some nice defined abs, like looking pretty lean at 205, I think that would be pretty dangerous. This summer is going to be a lot of like hypertrophy stuff for sure. You know, a little bit less on the, you know, the weight on the bar and a little bit more. We're just going to try to get jacked. That's actually what last year was supposed to be, but then I had all that issues with sleep. And it really affecting me. But I am very hopeful for this year. This year is going to be a way better year than last year. Last year was hitting hard, man. There were some sucker punches and uppercuts. All you can do is hope. Alright guys, we've got one more set. Just keep in mind, I probably will be wrapping it up pretty shortly after I finish the workout. So if anybody has any burning questions, comments, suggestions, last minute thoughts, drop it in the chat. We're gonna get this thing finished up. See if I have to take care of anything in between the workout stream and our game stream following after. Why are okay? And then there's low pokes to ruin everything. Been having some real productive conversation. Up until now. Oh, did it work? Oh wait, that was probably a Twitch emote. Frick. Alright, last set. All right. Yeah, get it. Get 'em. Yo, I need to dust down here apparently. Holy smokes. Alright guys, pretty good workout today actually. 337, you know, it's still a little bit of a stretch away from like an all-time best for sure, but yeah, all things considered, pretty good. Trending in the right direction. $337 for 2 today is pretty good, Big week this week, baby. Heavy week. And also lots of new releases this week, so there will probably be a lot of game streams this week. What is that? Am I missing anything over here? I don't care about that. I want to see him without the. That's crazy. That is some wild stuff. Somebody. I don't even know what to say. Heading off to play catch you this week at some point. All right, Scott. Enjoy the week. Hopefully so. Bye, Scott. Good man, right there. We're gonna have to start moderating a little bit better. Got some people foaming at the mouth a little too much. All right. We are all cleaned up. Yeah, I agree. That sounds like STD. All right, let's see here. All right, guys. I think that is it for the workout. Oh, you know what? I didn't rotate this back over for the barbell tricep extension, but I guess it's not that big of a deal. There we are. What's with the drop? What the? Doing that is the only time I was filming from the mount. And let's see, double check this. Oh, very nice. Okay. All right, guys. Well, I mean, really, that is all it. Pretty decently length workout stream for today. Workout went pretty good. 337 for 2. Pretty smooth as well. Definitely had some more in the tank. Outside of that, big week. Lots of some game streams this week because we have like 3 new releases for this week. You know, 2 of them being Gacha, 1 of them being Crimson Desert. Big single player game. So that will be fun. Should be streaming the 7 Deadly Sins Origin launch shortly following the this workout stream, so I'll get wrapped up, see if there's anything I need to do, and then go live again. So there might be a little bit of an intermission, maybe not though, might be just immediately after, we'll have to see. Lots of WoW streams. Ooh. I think you might be mistaking me for somebody else. Anyways, thanks for popping in, hanging out. Thanks for the support and chatting as always. Like I said, we'll be back shortly for some 7 Deadly Sins. Check out the new launch, see what it's all about, see if it's one that's worth putting in the usual rotation. So otherwise, enjoy the rest of your day if I don't see you in for that. And I will see you next time. Peace.